The reality is, the kind of alcoholic that I was and the lifestyle that I lived in and worked in, the more ridiculous or outlandish my antics were, the more in demand I became. The higher my ratings were equals more money for me. So I'm really fucked. And all of a sudden I stand up, he stands up at uniform precision. I go over, I grab 2 boxes of my books, he grabs 2 boxes of my books. We run out of the Barnes Noble straight to Penn Station on the next train back to Baltimore. I've now just stolen my own autobiography addiction memoir books from my own book release to take back to Baltimore to sign and sell to get more money to buy more heroin. How the fuck did I get here? How? Let me tell you how I got here. I got here because I possessed that job, and that job consists of knowing everything. Tell me what I need to do, I tell you I need to fuck off. I got here because I walked into that first treatment center with a closed mind and a closed heart, and I compared out. Yet again, if I would have listened to that first man in that first treatment center at the age of 17 with an open mind and an open heart, I would not fucking be here again. Take a look at my track record. Mother, nuclear physicist. Brother, attorney in the White House. Father died as a direct result of why I'll never be you. Not buying what you're selling, not drinking your Kool-Aid. First skateboarder endorsed by Gatorade. Hanging out with Michael Jordan. Touring the world with Tony Hawk. Private tutor that goes with. Have now been in movies that break box office records. Millionaire a few times over. Now, New York Times top 10 selling author who's written a book on addiction. On the flip side of that coin, I've now been in 12 inpatient treatment centers, lost count of outpatients and detoxes. My mother bought me a plot. People have taken life insurance policies out on me. And yet again, I find myself in a position that somebody in this room might be able to relate to. On the floor in that fetal position, crying uncontrollably. And the only thing that can cross through my mind is that older gentleman from that first treatment center that said, "White boy, do yourself a favor. Don't turn 18 in a place like this." All I could do was think of that man and think of how he planted the seed when I didn't even realize it had been planted. This big empty shell of a house is now a spitting image of what I have become. This big empty shell of a house now consoles this big empty shell of a man who can't stop crying uncontrollably. And it was okay to this point. Because every time I put that thing in me, that delusional effect was produced, which would allow me to escape the reality that I created for myself. Now I'm okay with Army crawling over to my mother's purse. It's cool. Tomorrow's going to be different. Tomorrow is going to be different. Only to wake up tomorrow to repeat yesterday's actions and be stuck in Groundhog's Day for the better part of 20 fucking years. Tomorrow's going to be different. What I do now, I'm a 35-year-old man who lives in his mother's bedroom. I leave that bedroom once a day to go buy $180 worth of dope and coke. My worldly possessions, everything I own in this world, consists of 8 scarves, 2 jackets, 3 socks, 1 stick of deodorant that fits into a bag that doubles as a pillow, a needle, a spoon, 4 cigarette butts that I've picked up off the ground in a restraining order that my mother's about to serve me. It's all I own at 35 years old. And the delusional effect is no longer fucking produced. I can't load this rig up anymore. I cannot put another drop of water on it or the plunger comes out, I swear to God. And that delusional effect is no longer produced. It means that I can't escape the reality that I've created for myself. That moment of clarity, if you will, is high or sober. Fuck you. I'm the kind of alcoholic that wants to kill himself on a daily basis, but I don't want to hurt myself in the process. I'm horrible at suicide because I keep fucking waking up. I'm at a point in life where I'm so low the curve looks like a skyscraper, and the only thing, my solution, has stopped answering my call. What the fuck do I do? That's a lonely place. I've literally been demoralized in just such a fashion, beaten into a state of reasonableness by drugs and alcohol, that you got my attention. The pain has now become the motivating factor behind my change. Now, for the first time in my life, it has become my idea. I was overcome with a sense of willingness unlike anything I've ever experienced. I stayed in that treatment center for 90 days. And what I learned in that treatment center is that my mentality will create the reality for which I live in. And if I change my perception, I can change my world. And my defects can become my assets with that shift of perception. It's me simply saying, if you want what I have, do what I do, and you can get what I got. This knowledge is open and it's free for the taking. And what I learned is the God of my understanding brought me to Alcoholics Anonymous, and Alcoholics Anonymous brought me back to the God of my understanding via the 12 steps. It did for me what I could not do for myself, because if you name it, I tried it, I could do it. If I could do it without you, I would not be here. What I learned is that my history does not have to dictate my future. The disease of addiction is not a death sentence. And as long as I'm breathing, it's never too late. So gentlemen that are in this facility, if you're sitting here and you're waiting for the miracle to happen, please allow me to be the first person to tell you it already fucking has. It already has. What I learned is that the common theme in my problems in my life is me. I was beaten so bad, I came in here and I was willing to do whatever you suggested. I saw that I can't do it, you can you help me? Most importantly, I stand before you today with over 3.5 years of continuous sobriety. That's not something that I'm capable of doing on my own.